we're not all suited and booted, doing open houses every single day.
You guys are doing the grunt work.
Yep.
Guerrilla marketing.
Exactly. You do that, people see your face enough, they're like, okay, this is my guy, or this is my girl, right?
Hey guys, my name is Daniel. Welcome to episode 3 of getting to know the most influential and badass entrepreneurs of this planet. With me, I have Davey from SD Shopping. Yeah, right? SD Shopping?
Shopping SD Houses.
Shopping SD Houses. So we want to get to know a little bit more about you, Davey. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do, how'd you got here, and enlighten us?
Definitely. So, kind of long story short, I used to be, teacher, working in the educational field for over 15 years. Worked with a nonprofit as well, focusing on educational programs, but I have always been investing. So I didn't make much as a teacher, so I was trying to find ways to kind of like supplement that income to be able to invest in real estate. And this is kind of how I started my journey. I would have side hustles, I would fix and flip cars. I would do
a lot of side hustles.
A lot of side hustles,
So that's in you already.
It's in me. So it's just more like the drive, right? The ganas, because my parents grew up in the fields, right? They still work in the fields.
Okay.
So they're working from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. just hustling. So the hustle's always been in me. So that's kind of like what drives me. So that put into a profession where the harder you work, the more money you can make and the more wealth you can create. I was all for it.
What were you doing? Like what kind of, you were a teacher, right? So what were you teaching?
So I was teaching, that's a great question. I get that a lot. And actually I love now being as a realtor because I focus on education, right? Teaching my clients how to purchase a home, how to navigate that particular process. But my background was teaching students with special needs in mathematics. So it's they're near and dear to my heart, trying to find ways to really help them grow and learn. And the same message goes with real estate, right? Trying to help families acquire that American dream and, try to do something with little resources and just getting creative and making it happen.
Were you the fun type of math teacher?
I was that teacher where like they knew they can have fun, but also I was fair but firm, like they say, right? Yeah. So they never got away with some, things that they could.
You do seem like the fun teacher, bro. You do seem like the fun teacher.
They always thought I was a PE coach, because I was always I used to coach softball and baseball and stuff. So it was things that I would take stuff that I learned from in my background in sports into the classroom and how to motivate, right? Because it really comes down to that being able to motivate and coach. And
it's on a daily, right? So it's not like, some days yes, and then some days no.
Yeah.
What's your journey like into investing? You said you were an investor before a realtor. What's your journey like? The transition to becoming an investor, how did you do that?
So going back to the side hustles, man, like being a teacher, I did not make much money. Working in a nonprofit world, I had a great position, but I did not make much money. So I always found those things to make that additional income to reinvest it into real estate. So that was the biggest thing is when I got into flipping cars, buy a car, flip it, get some money, put it back into real estate. So anything that I got into, I took that money and put it back.
So it was like in you, like was there any like people from your family that were investors, or were you like the pioneer?
No, actually my parents by necessity had that entrepreneurship mindset, right? Because working in the fields, you get paid pennies.
Yeah. Working
12-hour days, 14-hour days, and it really came down to like, okay, necessity. We got to put food on the table. We got to have a roof over these kids' heads. We were four males, Latinos, right? Ate like crazy. So, we're those guys that when you go to, the dinner table, everything's gone because we just eat, right? So they had to do it by necessity. They would sell clothes. They started selling gold. So they just got creative on how they can put food on the table. And that drive is really what drives me.
I can relate, man. I can relate, definitely. What about becoming a realtor? How did you, from teacher, math teacher, to investor, how did you get into becoming a realtor?
So it was more by just to make extra cash on my own deals, right? Because I found myself, purchasing a property and the realtors that were representing me didn't really know much. So it was kind of tough for someone to teach me or to kind of guide me on investments when they don't own investments or they don't own certain properties.
Interesting. Yeah.
So then in that process, I was like, you know what, I should just get my license, and when I buy my own properties, I'll make some extra money.
Interesting.
And through that process, it kind of just picked off. And people started calling me. They said, hey, well, I know you're doing this. I know you build that, or you do different stuff in state and out of state. Why don't you represent me on some properties here?
How long ago was that?
It was recent. So
you became a realtor recently?
Yeah. So I started investing in 2012. So you know, little by little, house hacking. I'll buy a property, convert the garage into an ADU, rent it out, rinse and repeat. You know, I was able to scale up maybe one property every 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Through that process, obviously, now I became a realtor full time, pretty much this past year. So last June, from June to pretty much for the first 6 months, I think I sold close to, I think it was like 15 properties, right? And then this past year, I'm at 42 now. So
that's a big jump.
Yeah, from January to now, and a lot of it has to do with, you know, the people that I've been fortunate, you know, to work with, being able to provide some guidance and support.
Yeah. How come there's people that say that they can't, there's no homes, and they give me like those, the market's low, those little, I can't sell homes, and then there's someone like you that 40 homes? That doesn't make sense. So there is or there isn't, you know?
That's a great question. We get that a lot, right?
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to be in this team. Obviously, kudos to my boy Carlos. He's a team owner. And just the team dynamic, the team environment really motivates you to push harder. We have competitions within our own team to kind of continue to push each other. And really, I can't take full credit for that. You know, I have a supportive wife who's also an agent, who helps out a lot. But it's really that team dynamic. That team dynamic is everything. So that's been something that's been crucial to my.
Is there more top agents like you in this team?
Correct. Yeah, we have I believe anywhere from 5 to 7 top 1% agents in this team already, and then we have many of them already top 10% agents. So
top 10%.
Most of our team is pretty up there.
Do you do anything else other than investor, realtor? Are you like any other business owner? Like you're already selling something good, you know, 40 homes, 15 to 40. I mean, where are you putting your money now? Like, what are you doing with like investing? Great thing. So same thing. I'm still investing. This past year, I bought 2 homes in Bonita. I did several flips on the same process too here in San Diego, and investing out of state and in Mexico too. So out of state and in Mexico. Yeah. What state?
Michigan, West Virginia, and then Mexico. Obviously, we just got a new condo in TJ. And then properties in Valle. We're doing cabins in Valle de Guadalupe for wine country and stuff in Puerto Vallarta.
How'd you gain all of the knowledge to be an entrepreneur this successful?
Trial and error, man. Like I said, I had a dress shop, right?
You had a what?
A dress shop. So
a dress shop?
Yeah, wedding dresses.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Ask me if I knew anything about dresses.
No.
I know shit about dresses. I know shit about dresses, but I learned, right?
Right.
I saw an opportunity. You know, my wife wanted to get this going, and it blew up. So we had a dress shop in TJ. You know, from that we had a smaller shop. We decided to go to a bigger shop, and in that transition, we lost a lot of business because we moved locations, the whole shebang. So that was a lesson learned. Like sometimes moving to a bigger shop or a bigger place may not always be the best. But it's stuff like that, situation like that allowed me to learn as an entrepreneur and also be able to grow in different aspects.
How long did it take you to gain so much, as a realtor, how long did it take you to get a lot of relationship to be able to sell, you know, big purchase homes?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I officially started last June.
Last June?
Last June.
So 2022?
2022. So from June to December.
6 months?
6 months was about 15 to 20 homes. From January to now, I'm at 42. Hopefully I get closer to, my goal was 50 this year. I didn't get, I don't think I'm gonna reach it, but goal for next year, 75.
Okay.
So now we're working on some systems to kind of address, you know, what I didn't do this past year to make sure I get to that point.
What's something that you did that made you blow up this year and that you saw that you didn't do last year? Because last year you're saying 15, now this year you're saying 40, 42. Like even last year you do 15 times 2, you know, it's 30. You did more than that. So what did you do to get that, you know, accelerated
I think
sales?
A lot of it had to do with just brainstorming. Brainstorming with the team, like you said right now, right? It's there's no inventory. Well, what can we do?
Yeah.
What can we do to help with that? Well, we're gonna go out there and create the inventory, right? So
Interesting.
we went out there, started, doing the kind of like the getting our hands dirty and going out there into the field and finding those opportunities for not only us as investors, but also our clients.
What was your biggest challenges last year, and what's the biggest challenge this year? What was it?
I think it was in that transition from last year to this year was the interest rates, right? Like just skyrocketing. That really killed a lot of our clients because they were on the cusp of certain approval amounts. So that impacted that a lot. So really finding creative ways to still support our clients, negotiate on their behalf, and still keep them motivated despite the high interest rates, right? We know data shows that over 5 years, no matter where the rates are at or whatever it is, your property's going to continue to go up in price.
Yeah.
So that's one thing where just really focus on the education piece and providing value.
Yeah.
We're not, and one thing that you hear from me a lot is, I'm not going to sell you a home. I'm going to provide an opportunity to create wealth. And if I don't think it's a good opportunity, then I'm going to tell you, you know what? Let's keep on looking.
What advice, touching on that point, what advice do you give to first-time home buyers?
First-time home buyers, the most important thing is fall in love with the payment before you fall in love with the home, right? I'm guilty of that because I used to go to homes all the time, go check them out, like they do the window shopping, right? I'm like, man, I love this home, but then I look at the payment, I was like, I hate this home,
Yeah.
So
it happens a lot.
That's the most important thing, is really identifying that and understanding what makes you feel comfortable. That way you can still maintain maybe the lifestyle that you like. I like to travel, I like to do this, I like to do that. So that way you can, still make it work within those means.
Now, real estate involves good negotiating skills. How did you learn all this? How'd you learn all this?
Well, growing up in a household where, you have competitive siblings and everything else, you have to negotiate on a daily basis, right? And then now as a dad, I have a 2-year-old she's gonna be a killer realtor because she's all about negotiation, right? Trying to figure out, do this or do that. No quiero. So, okay, we gotta figure it out and negotiate on a daily basis. But when it goes into real estate, I think it really comes down to the relationships, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're able to build a good relationship with that listing agent or whoever it may be, there's an opportunity for you to navigate difficult situations, whether appraisal didn't come in at value, or you want to get some repairs for your clients, but the sellers are really,
you're communicating with the listing agents, every listing agent, mortgage lenders, escrows, and do you just talk to one person or do you talk to multiple people just in case someone's busy? How do you juggle that?
I think the most important thing is just identifying the person that's going to be your go-to person, and even if they're not available, always have that communication. Hey, well, when you're not available, who can I turn to? Because at the end of the day, we have transactions that are closing in 10 days, 14 days, and we have to constantly be on communication. So communication is key for me, whether it's reaching out to someone who's selling the property or just responding to someone who's trying to buy mine.
And how do you maintain those good relationships? What's a go-to strategy? For like new people, new agents. Let's say there's a new agent wants to get into real estate. How do you start building and maintaining those relationships? Because you can get to know somebody, and then you can mess it up, and then that person, you get burnt. How do you not get burnt? How do you do the right thing? What do you, a team or what is this?
That's a great question, right? We encounter situations where it's you submit a request for repair to a seller, and it may be relatively high dollar amount, or a lot of different repairs that need to be addressed. So just finding that common ground with the agent to ensure that you're both on the same page, you want to accomplish the same goal, and how can we work together to make this happen? It's not a you against me type of thing. It's more like, how can we work together? And they're more likely to find solutions with you rather than fight you. So that's been key. It's been one of those things where sometimes people are having a bad day and maybe they just answer the phone a little aggressively. I don't take it personal. Like I said, my personality is all about let's just keep on going, kill them with kindness, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, I agree with that. Kill them with kindness, and then they come back to you, you know?
Yeah.
They're mad, don't bother me, but they're like, hey man, like, hey, actually, you know, look at this.
Exactly.
Run the numbers. Hey, no problem.
Yeah, and it's all about solutions. Like
Yeah.
here in our office, we're huge on finding solutions. Like there's plenty of problems out there, but what kind of solutions can we address to make sure we don't encounter this again?
Absolutely.
So that's key.
What's a crazy story that happened to you maybe this year, last year, as a realtor? And then we'll get to the investing part, the investor part.
Crazy story. Well, not
Crazy
necessarily
story.
Crazy story is just like they said. There's sometimes myself as a buyer, I've been in situations like I would never buy this house, right? I would never buy this house for X, Y, and Z reasons.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, any sort of property that you encounter that you can find, you know, some sort of way to maximize, you know, potential profit or whatever it is, and you got an opportunity to acquire that property, do so. And I'll tell you why. Here's a perfect example. There was a property that was sitting on the market for quite some time. Unfortunately, there were 3 deaths that happened year after year after year for 3 years, right? So people are like, oh, hell no, I'm never gonna buy this for X, Y, and Z reason. One of my buyers came in and said, hey, I'll buy it. That home, as soon as he bought it and began renovations, it was worth over $800,000, and he got it for $500,000. So just by purchasing it, putting some paint, you know, renovating a few things, it's worth, you're sitting on $300K.
Not going by your feelings, but by the strategy behind
the strategy, opportunity. Also, the biggest thing that I see is people want to find their dream home on their first property. And,
Interesting.
And many things sometimes
I have heard of that.
Come in the way.
I've heard
right?
of that. You shouldn't find your dream home with the first property. You should first get a regular property, get all that, and then transition later into that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, how would you say it?
Well, it depends on everybody's situation, right? I always ask clients, like, what are your goals? You know, just because if you come to me, hey David, I want to sell my house, I go, okay, well, what's your goal? What do you want to do with this? Why do you want to sell it? And if your goal doesn't align with what you want to do, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather say I don't think you should sell. You know, I don't think you should sell for X, Y, and Z. Like I said, I'm not your typical agent. Most agents start salivating if they hear sell. Oh yeah, I'll sell it. Let's go. Because all they think about is the money. I think about the long-term relationship, right? And I tell my clients too, especially investors, because investors are very cautious. Because a lot of agents say investor like, oh great, amazing, that's money.
Investors actually look at their money, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm more like, okay, I'd rather you look for the right property and it takes you 10 years to find it, then you'd be pissed off at me for 10 years because I sold you the wrong property, right?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing for me, is really establishing that relationship, getting people to understand that I'm not gonna sell you just to sell you. I'm not gonna do this or do that. I wanna create opportunity. Because I've seen what it's done for me and my family.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. Like I said, I've had to grind, I'm still grinding, but I know that my daughter's gonna be okay.
What's your marketing like now since last year, and how has it skyrocketed your business?
That's a great question. I would never post things, what I'm doing, as often. People always say, hey, you need to start posting a little bit more on what you did on your journey and everything else, because people can relate. Yeah, like I said, and I started just posting, okay, I'm doing my ADUs, I'm doing this flip, I'm doing that, and people started asking questions that, hey, I want to do that, or how can I get involved, or I would love for you to represent me, because of that marketing piece, right?
Interesting.
It's just been obviously personal marketing, but I think this next year is going to be really focusing on taking it to the next level, and how can I, continue to help people.
How does 2024 look like for Davey?
So 2024 for me, it looks, we're already starting to game plan. My wife and I love to do our goals every December. And
That's awesome.
And we look at which ones did we have this past year that we did not reach, right? So what do we need to do to reach it next year? This year's two-tiered, I guess. I got my real estate, but I also got my moving and cleaning business that myself and Angel, another top producer here in the team, created. And we're really focusing on that. We have a great federal contract right now. We got several commercial contracts on the works right now as well. So that's one thing that we're really focusing on. The goal is to get it to be a business that's producing over 100K a month. Yeah. That's the goal, right? The other thing is my real estate. So really getting to making that push over the 50 mark, which was my goal this year, but getting to 75. And the way that we're gonna hopefully do that is just by bringing in all the resources, working with our entire team, and really leveraging everybody there to be able to help each other out, but also help other people also produce as well.
That's awesome, man. What is one piece of advice that you can give to upcoming realtor? Somebody kind of looking at realtor, they're interested, they're looking at what you're doing. So what's like an advice that you can give them to like this, if you follow this, you will get X?
I think the most important thing, and I think that I learned over the years, because I'm older than some of these new agents, is that surround yourself with people that genuinely want to see you win. You know, I wasted a lot of time with a lot of people that I thought, you know, wanted to see me win, but at the end of the day, it got taken, you know, out of context, and it's totally different. So find those people that genuinely care, that are there for you during the good times, the bad times, and, you know, keep on pushing, because those are the ones that are going to be there when you make it. You know, just keep on working hard. Real estate is not easy. Sometimes we make it look easy because, you know, we've been fortunate. Like I said, this past year was a very, it was a blessing.
You guys do make it look easy. I gotta tell you that. I gotta be honest.
We have a lot of fun, right? So our team is amazing. We have a lot of fun.
You guys look like you're having a lot of fun. It looks like you guys are doing stuff like boom, 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 boom. And then you're seeing like all these other agents saying like, they're just like whining. It doesn't make sense. Like there's people here, like what side of the coin do you want to be on? I want to be on this side, so definitely just do what they're doing, I guess.
And the big difference is, you know, obviously if you go in here, we're not all suited and booted in our cubicles.
I know, I've noticed that.
We're out in the field, we're doing flips, we're, you know, doing open houses every single day.
You guys are doing the grunt work. Guerrilla marketing.
Exactly. You do that, people see your face enough, they're like, okay, this is my guy or this is my girl, right? So
absolutely.
Just put yourself out there.
I try to do the same thing, dude.
I know. I remember when we met, he's like, hey, we gotta work together.
I'm trying.
Perfect.
I'm new to San Diego, so
that's good.
So I have to make a name for myself somehow.
So
key day,
So key days are big for me, because, you know, it don't matter if you're working. I still want you to have fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. What about when you guys are not doing key days? Because people, like on social media, people see the key day, fun. They think realtor is fun, but I know that it's not always fun. It's not always sunshine. So what's in the back? What are you guys hiding?
Well, not necessarily hiding. It's just more like the whole piece, right? We want to make this process as simple, as easy as possible. So sometimes when we're over here like straight negotiating with the sellers or buyers are negotiating with me as a listing agent, it can get a little heated at times, right? Respectfully. But still, it's more like let's maintain this within the agents and have our clients kind of relax and if something does, you know, kick off where we need to communicate bad news, then we have to. But for the most part, it's just mainly like maintain that relationship. Communicating effectively, figuring out what's gonna work, what solution do we have in place, and making it happen. But yeah, it gets intense. You know, there's times where you're like, holy crap, what's gonna happen? So it's
I like that, man.
It's not always, you know, rainbows and butterflies, but
I know you guys make it look like rainbows and butterflies. Honestly, my key day, fun. Invite me, man. Invite me. I want to have some fun.
Dude, key days are good.
I want a popper, bro. I bet you guys have poppers here.
Oh, we do have poppers.
You guys have a bunch of poppers. #1 poppers.
Yeah, but we've seen a lot of teams and agents doing the poppers now, which is cool. I love it.
Who did you guys get it from?
Carlos started doing it.
He started doing it?
So he started as a single agent, and then little by little started growing. Over the last 2 years, we've grown a lot.
Yeah, I have seen some people not as big as you guys, like a whole party, but they do like 2-3 people, pop, champagne, just like a video on their phone.
So yeah, they're doing it, which is cool, because back in the day, mainly people, and this is me included, that's the reason why I do a full-on party, because my agents call me, congratulations, the key's under your mat, and I'm like, bro, where's my party? You know, I want to celebrate. It's like,
that's true, man. I agree with that.
It's an accomplishment, you know. So
you buy a big, you know, investment home, or you know, you get something like this, like for first-time home buyer at least. It's like they want that fun, you know.
Exactly.
Like, oh, okay.
Some of them this may be their only purchase, so why not celebrate it? Right? And I do the same thing for my investors who bought 5 houses with me in 1 year. I still celebrate them because it is an accomplishment.
It's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
I see that you guys give out TVs. How and why do you guys do that?
It's just a small token appreciation. You know
How
what
do
I
you
mean?
know what person to give what inch size TV? Like,
Well,
this person 50 inch, oh, this person 70 inch.
I've always done
How do you-
65.
65? Okay.
Yeah, I've always done 65.
So you don't pick like all 45,
No.
65? No.
No.
Everyone's 65.
65. Sometimes I'll, like, if we find a 75 on sale, then we get a 75, you know. But
Nice.
for the most part, it's always 65. I have gotten grills before.
Grills.
You know, if I know a client already has TV in every room, I get them a grill.
But there's always like a nice welcoming gift, right?
Yeah.
Always.
Always. With me, there's always food, there's always a gift, and there's always champagne showers and poppers.
Man, you need to get him as a realtor, man.
Yeah, we always have that. Why? Because we have to celebrate. Always have to celebrate. We're thankful for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know, it's the least I can do, and you know, let's have fun.
If you guys are looking for a realtor here in San Diego and California, all of California and Texas, you said, and Miami and Arizona?
Well, Arizona, so one of our agents is moving out there, so we're gonna be pricing over there too, but Nevada as well.
Hit my boy up. He will find a home for you.
Got you.
Till next time.